Hey folks, I'm Mike. Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence. It keeps this blog ad-free. Hello and welcome to an Inkdependence.com brief video review and water drop test. Today we have an ink from Papier Plume. This is that little shop in New Orleans, Louisiana that I've done a couple of inks for, most recently Sazerac. This is a totally different ink than Sazerac. This is Peacock Blue. Peacock Blue is this beautiful, like, sort of, I don't know, medium turquoise, I guess? It's kind of a turquoisey ink as opposed to being just a straight up blue. So I only have one blue, I guess, from this is Cali Real, which I can't get a whole bottle of, and neither can you, unless you've already gotten it, because it is sold out. It was one of those super limited editions. But I don't have any other blues. I guess this is the closest I have to a blue. Yeah, I've got green, gray, sort of purpley, and this one. All right, anyway. So this is a turquoisey blue. As you can see here, lots of depth in this ink, I think. It's got a real nice color to it. It looks kind of like a lagoon or something is what it makes me think of. I had this in two pens for the last week or so. Firstly, they're both faber-castells. Firstly, we have it in the Faber-Castell Ondoro, which picks up fingerprints like mad, but otherwise has a very beautiful oaky finish. I mean, check that out. And also this interesting shape. What is that, hexagonal? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's hexagonal. This is a medium nib on this pen, which is a little bit wet. The medium nibs from Faber-Castell tend to be on the wet side, a little bit on the wide side, and I really like them. I like the medium. I gotta try a broad one of these days. I figured, I don't know, maybe it'll just fire hose ink all over the page. The other pen is the Lume. This is a Faber-Castell Lume in piano white, and this is a fine nib. The nibs on here are all interchangeable between all their Faber-Castell pens, so if you get them in different widths, then you can switch them around. Anyway, I really love this pen. If you're a new fountain pen user or thinking about getting a new pen, definitely check out the Lume, because it is a very good pen. Excellent pen for the money. As far as commentary and such, there are a few things about this ink here. It is a little bit on the wet side, I think, although maybe only kind of like medium. I don't know. It's an interesting ink because from the Ondoro I get a much different color than I do from the Lume, and the Lume is not exactly a dry nib. I use all kinds of inks in this with no problem, but it does come out a bit more pale and light. With the Ondoro though, it's this nice. And you can see it's far darker, much more depth and such, far more saturation almost, it looks like. So my advice is put this in something with a good flow on it. Big wide nib, or maybe even a really wet, fine or something would be cool too. And there is some mild bleed on copy paper. So if we look over here at our copy paper sample, we need to zoom out here. All right, there we go. If you look at our copy paper sample, you're gonna see that there is a little bit of feathering to be found here. I mean, even in the sample from the Lume, there's some in the U and a little bit there. From the Ondoro, you see some feathering, throughout. Not a huge amount, like it's not a ton of feathering, but it is some. And then on the back, you're definitely going to see some bleed here. This is the section that we're looking at here. The top section, of course, is the Ondoro, so you're going to see more there because more ink is hitting the page. But you see a little bit from even the Lume, which is, not great, honestly. It could be a little bit better. So keep this on better paper because you'll see the color better. That's true most of the time anyway, but there are a few inks that don't work that well on Rhodia. But this is one that works really well on Rhodia, and I think it looks really nice on Tomoe River and that sort of thing as well. Dry time is around 20 seconds here on Rhodia. I didn't test it on the copy paper, but man, on copy paper, most inks dry very, very, very quickly. So I don't bother. But here, about 20 seconds is what that took. And you can see after 20 seconds, there's a little bit of a smear, but just a tiny smear, and I don't know. Anyway, 21 seconds? I don't know, just to be sure. As far as other ink samples to compare to, I have several blues and that sort of thing in pens. Let's see, get this in the right place. There we go. All right, you can see the Peacock Blue is really close to Spanish Blue from Franklin Christoph. I didn't have that inked up, and then I was looking at this going, yeah, I bet this is pretty close. And so I put that on there. Also, Sailor Soughton, which I've recently come to appreciate. Schaefer Turquoise, my favorite turquoise, is very, very close to this Peacock Blue. Visconti Blue for a dark blue. Ackerman 00, which is kind of a violet-y blue. I've got that one coming up on the blog soon. There you go. All right, so here's the thing. I did this video once before and it didn't come out well, so I've already done the water test. You can see what's left here. I'll splice in some of that video over where I'm speaking right now, but there's not much water resistance in this ink. It's pretty, it washes away pretty well. You can see quite a bit there on the paper towel when I mop it up, so there's that. Don't expect this to stick around in a flood. All right, let's take a look at Tomoe River right quick. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong side of the book. There we go. This is in an ink journal. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. All right. There we go. Let's get this done here. All right, cool. So you can see there's quite a bit of shading on this paper. You're always going to get good shading on Tomoe River, so you can definitely expect it there. It also looks a lot lighter on Tomoe River. Like it didn't soak in as much, even as much on Rhodia. So see if I can get both of these on the screen at the same time. Only kinda. You can see there's a whole lot more depth here on the Rhodia. All right. All right, so that is that. This has been Papier Plume's, well, let's zoom out because I got this way too close. Papier Plume's Peacock Blue. It's in a couple of faber-castell pens. I'm Mike, this is Ink Dependence. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, go to Instagram where I am at Ink Dependence. You can also find me on my blog if you're not on the blog already, which is inkdependence.com. And if you're looking at this on the blog and want to find my YouTube channel, you'll find it at youtube.com/c/Michael Madison. All right. That's that. Peace out.